77 years ago, a nation was born. Not just a political nation, a linguistic miracle. One country, 22 official languages, over 19,000 dialects. And yet, we call ourselves one people. But here is the question nobody asks on Independence Day. Do we actually understand each other? I am a Bengali speaker. I learned Marathi in 5 months. Not because I am gifted. Not because I studied 8 hours a day. Because science says we were always closer than we thought. This Independence Day, let us find out exactly how close. Here is a number that will change how you see India forever. 70 to 80%. That is how much of a Gujarati conversation a Hindi speaker understands, without ever studying Gujarati, without a single class, without a single textbook, just by being Indian. Hindi, Bengali, Marathi, Gujarati, Punjabi, Odia. These are not separate languages that happen to share a country. They are branches of the same ancient tree. That tree is Sanskrit. 500 million people in North India are, linguistically speaking, already halfway to understanding each other. They just do not know it yet. Let me show you something remarkable. Say the word pani in Hindi, water. Now say it in Marathi, pani, identical. Say it in Bengali, pani, still there. Say samay, time, in Hindi. Bengali says shamoy, Marathi says samay. The same concept, traveling across 3 languages, wearing slightly different clothes. 40 to 50% of the core vocabulary across North Indian languages comes directly from Sanskrit. Before you study a single grammar rule, you already recognize nearly half the words. In Spanish, 0, in French, 0, but in Marathi, if you know Hindi, you walk in with 40% already in your pocket. That is your inheritance as an Indian. You just never claimed it. English says, I eat food, subject first, verb in the middle, object at the end. But Hindi says, Main khana khata hoon, I, food, eat. Bengali says, Ami bat khai, I, rice, eat. Marathi says, Mi jevan khato, I, food, eat. Do you see it? Every North Indian language puts the verb last, always, 100% consistent. Grammar structure is the skeleton of a language. If the skeleton is the same, the language feels familiar from day one. When a Hindi speaker learns Marathi, or Bengali, or Gujarati, their brain says, I already know how to think in this language. The skeleton was always the same, just the skin was different. Languages in the same family share a secret code. Predictable sound shifts that once you crack them, let you decode thousands of words automatically. From my own experience, learning Marathi as a Bengali speaker, I noticed a pattern. Words with an O sound in Bengali often became an A sound in Marathi, naam in Bengali, nav in Marathi, same word, same meaning. Words with SH in Bengali became S in Hindi and Marathi, shabdo in Bengali, shabd in Hindi, same word. I made a list of 8 such patterns, 8 patterns, and suddenly hundreds of words I had never studied became recognizable. I was not memorizing, I was decoding. That code already lives inside you. You just need someone to hand you the key. How long does this actually take? Let us be specific. Let us be honest. Hindi and Gujarati, same script, over 80% vocabulary overlap. 2 to 3 months to basic conversation. That is 1 season. Hindi and Punjabi, 2 to 4 months. The linguists joke they are the same language wearing different hats. Hindi and Marathi, the research says 4 to 6 months. My own experience as a Bengali speaker learning Marathi, 4 to 5 months. Not 4 to 5 months of intense daily study, 4 to 5 months of living, of being there, of absorbing a language the way you absorb sunlight, without always knowing it is happening. Even Bengali to Hindi, which requires learning a new script, 3 to 5 months. Because Bollywood spent 30 years teaching every Bengali household the sound of Hindi, without anyone realizing it was a language lesson. These timelines are not aspirational, they are real. The only extraordinary thing, they decided to try. Let me tell you exactly how I learnt Marathi, not the inspiring version, the real version. I bought a Marathi textbook for English learners. I studied the first 10 lessons over 2 months, slowly, inconsistently, some days, nothing at all. But here is what was quietly happening in the background. I was living in Maharashtra. Every time I stepped outside, Marathi was everywhere. Shop banners, road signs, hoardings on highways, posters on walls. I started reading them, not studying them, just reading. WhatsApp statuses from local friends, a festival greeting, a quote, a film dialogue, small things, but constant. At lunch, I read Marathi news headlines, not full articles, just headlines, 10 minutes, new words, appearing in context, repeating day after day, quietly becoming familiar. For music, Marathi songs on YouTube, not to study vocabulary, just because they were there, because something about hearing a language through music makes it feel less foreign. Evenings, Marathi TV series, first with subtitles, then, somewhere around month 3, I realized I needed them less. And through all of this, I kept going back to the book, thoroughly, finishing what I started. Messy, absolutely. Effective, completely. Marathi was always around me. I just stopped ignoring it. Now let us answer the question you are actually thinking. Should I just learn Spanish instead? Everyone says Spanish is easy. Let us look at real numbers. Hindi to conversational Bengali, with natural immersion in India, 5 to 7 months, 150 to 200 hours of total investment. Cost, 0 rupees. Hindi to conversational Spanish, studying in India, without immersion, 12 to 18 months, 4 to 600 hours. Cost, 15,000 to 50,000 rupees in classes and resources. And after all that, when do you use Spanish? Bengali, you use it tomorrow. Spanish? Someday. If you travel, maybe. I am not saying do not learn Spanish. I learned Spanish. I love Spanish. But let us be honest about what we are comparing. Half the time, a fraction of the effort, free and useful from day one. The choice is yours. I am just making sure you are making it with accurate information. 5 reasons why North Indian language learning has advantages no foreign language can match. First, passive exposure. If you live in India, you are already surrounded by other Indian languages. 5, 6, 7 hours of free immersion every week, just by existing. Learning Spanish in India requires deliberate effort for every single hour. Here, it is just Tuesday. Second, cultural context. When a Hindi speaker learns Bengali, they already know what Durga Puja is. They understand the family hierarchy, the food, the festivals. 40 to 50% of the culture, already yours. Third, the Sanskrit bridge. Thousands of words already live in your vocabulary, recognized instantly. Zero equivalent exists in Spanish or French. Fourth, motivation stays high. You use this language tomorrow, not someday, tomorrow. Nothing sustains motivation like immediate use. Fifth, immersion is free. 500 hours of free practice annually, just from being Indian. You were given this gift at birth. Most people just have not unwrapped it yet. Here is what my actual daily pattern looked like. And I want to be honest, it was not a routine. It was more like a habit of paying attention. Mornings, I read the book. Thoroughly, not skimming. Grammar, exercises, examples. This was the only truly deliberate part. Everything else was opportunistic. During the day, banners. Every poster, every shop sign, every hoarding in Marathi. I made a point to read it. Sometimes I understood, sometimes I guessed. Sometimes I looked up one word and moved on. WhatsApp statuses from Marathi-speaking contacts, a line of poetry, a quote, a festival message. Passive, constant, it added up. At lunch, Marathi news headlines. 10 minutes, just headlines. Same topics I already knew. Politics, sports, weather. Now in the language I was learning. Context made vocabulary stick. Music, Marathi songs on YouTube. Not a vocabulary exercise, just music. Playing while I cooked, while I rested. The rhythm of the language becoming familiar without effort. Evenings, Marathi TV series. Emotions I could follow before I understood every word. Subtitles needed less and less over time. And always listening to people around me. Colleagues, shopkeepers, strangers. Not eavesdropping, just being present. Messy, unstructured, occasionally inconsistent. But it worked. And if you cannot maintain a rigid study schedule, that is actually good news, because this method does not require one. So you want to try. Here is exactly what to do. 3 steps. Step 1, get a textbook, not a course, not an app. A simple, structured textbook in your target language. Study it slowly. Finish 10 lessons in 2 months if that is all you manage. That is perfectly fine. The textbook gives your brain a framework, a skeleton to hang everything else on. Step 2, immerse daily. Find your target language in your environment and turn up the volume. Read a headline, read a poster, watch one YouTube video, notice a WhatsApp status. You do not need to understand everything. You need to be present. Your brain will do the rest. Step 3, speak. From week 4, not week 10, not when you feel ready. Week 4, broken sentences, wrong grammar. Speak anyway, get corrected, try again tomorrow. The feedback loop is where the magic lives. Structure, immersion, feedback. That is the entire formula. Everything else is detail. Start with free. Always start with free. YouTube is the most underrated language learning platform on the planet. Search for news, vlogs, music in your target language. 30 minutes a day. That is it. Hello Talk, a free app that connects you with native speakers who want to learn your language. You teach them Bengali or Hindi. They teach you Marathi or Punjabi. Equal exchange. 0 cost. Netflix and Hotstar. You probably already pay for these. Change the audio language on one show this week. Add subtitles in the target language. That is a language lesson disguised as entertainment. If you want structured help, Itaki gives one-on-one sessions with real tutors. 300 to 800 rupees an hour. Once a week for 3 months is a full conversation course. But honestly, the resources were always around me. I just learned to see them as lessons. Let me leave you with the numbers. Not my numbers, the researchers' numbers. 70 to 80%, the mutual intelligibility between North Indian languages, documented by sociolinguist John Gumpers, 1971, still stands. 40 to 50%, Sanskrit vocabulary retention across the family, documented by Colin Massacre in his definitive study of Indo-Aryan languages. 100%, SOV grammar consistency across every North Indian language. 2 to 3 times faster, within family acquisition versus foreign language learning, proven across multiple cross-linguistic studies. And my personal data, 4 to 5 months, Bengali to Marathi, 30 to 40 hours of textbook study, plus daily environmental immersion, which costs nothing. The science says you are more capable than you believe. The science says India's linguistic diversity is not a barrier. It is an invitation. So here is my question for you. This Independence Day, what language do you want to reach for? Drop a comment right now. Tell me your native language and the language you want to learn. I will personally reply to every comment with a realistic timeline, the key challenges, and the exact resources I would use. Every single one. Your action item this week, pick just one. Watch one film in your target language with subtitles, or follow 5 social media accounts that post in that language, or, and this is my favorite, text one friend and say, teach me one sentence in your language. Just one sentence. That is how it starts. Next week, part 2, we go south. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. A different challenge, and the data that shows it is still more accessible than you have been told. Subscribe and hit the bell, because that video might be the one that changes how you see South India forever. Before I go, the most important thing I want you to take from this video: you do not need perfect discipline. I did not have it. You do not need hours of daily study. I did not do it. You do not need an expensive course, a gifted brain, or a perfect memory. What got me to Marathi was proximity, being present in a language, letting it exist around you, in your mornings, your commute, your evenings. The brain is not a machine that processes language. It is a living system that absorbs it. Give it structure, give it immersion, give it feedback, and then get out of the way. 77 years ago, India was told its diversity was its weakness. What we have instead is 22 official languages, 19,000 dialects, and the extraordinary fact that all of them are learnable. By us, for us, because we are already halfway there. Happy Independence Day. Jai Hind. Now go learn a language.